Why Japanese firms are being so slow to use AI. August 18, 2026. Japan faces acute labor shortages, an aging population, and chronically weak productivity conditions that should make artificial intelligence, AI, highly attractive. Yet Japanese companies remain far more cautious about adopting AI than their counterparts in the US and UK. Workplace data highlights the gap. An OECD report found that only 8.4% of Japanese workers use AI in their jobs, compared with 50% in the US and 32% in the UK. Singapore, meanwhile, has one of Asia's highest adoption rates, with 56% of workers reportedly using AI several times a week. The main obstacle is Japan's deeply conservative corporate culture. Austin Su, co-founder of US AI startup Q's AI, says consensus-driven organizations are often unwilling to tolerate mistakes, particularly in customer-facing work. Japanese companies may prefer to leave a position vacant rather than allow AI to perform it. This contrasts sharply with the US, where companies increasingly let AI tools experiment and gradually integrate them into workflows. Japanese firms, by comparison, generally demand stronger evidence that AI is reliable before allowing it to take on important responsibilities. Parisa Hagarian, a professor at Kyoto University of Advanced Science, says the problem reflects Japan's broader resistance to organizational change. Because generative AI remains imperfect, companies tend to restrict it to low-risk activities such as writing, summarizing documents, and gathering information. Its use in core operations, decision-making, and process improvement remains limited. Healthcare is an extreme example. Some Japanese hospitals have yet to fully digitize patient records, leaving employees dealing with enormous quantities of paper documents. The government recognizes the problem. Japan passed an AI Promotion Act last year, aiming to encourage investment through relatively light regulation and make the country the world's most friendly country for developing and using AI. Tokyo hopes AI will help raise productivity, which remains the lowest among G7 economies. Government figures suggest AI adoption has increased dramatically, with 75% of companies now using the technology, compared with just 11% 5 years ago. Critics, however, argue that this figure is misleading. Only a small proportion of employees at many companies actually use AI, and often only for limited tasks. Another barrier is Japan's shortage of digital talent. Yasushi Ogasawara of Meiji University argues that while Japanese consumers readily embrace gadgets such as smartphones, overall digital literacy remains low. Japan is also expected to face a shortage of nearly 800,000 IT professionals by 2030. Around 60% of corporate computer systems are reportedly more than 20 years old, making the introduction of advanced AI more difficult. Employment concerns also matter. Japanese companies and policymakers place a high priority on maintaining full employment, making them cautious about technologies that could eliminate jobs. Reskilling workers is easier to discuss than to implement. There are, however, signs of change. Some companies are beginning to prioritize AI literacy when recruiting graduates. At trading company Kanamatsu, young employees already use AI for emails, document summaries, and meeting records. Yet autonomous AI agents capable of handling multi-step tasks remain rare. Japan's fundamental challenge is therefore cultural as much as technological. Its cautious, consensus-driven approach can minimize risk, but it can also delay necessary reform. Unless Japanese companies become more willing to experiment, tolerate mistakes, and embrace disruption, the productivity gains promised by AI may remain out of reach. By BBC, story by Michael Fitzpatrick.